So the practice of yama-niyamas and the importance of the various suggestions, pointers in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra that continues in this 33rd Sutra. The Sutra is Vitarka Badhane Pratipaksha Bhavanam. Vitarka Badhane Pratipaksha Bhavanam. Vitarka Badhane Pratipaksha Bhavanam. Vitarka is vitarka, evil tendencies, wrong ideas, evil actions, not suitable thoughts, non-congenial actions, not congenial thoughts and tendencies. That is all vitarka. So vitarka is evil tendencies. Badhane is the disturbances. Pratipaksha, opposite. Bhavanas, tendencies. So Pratipaksha Bhavana is opposite tendencies, opposite thoughts. So Vitarka Badhane is evil tendencies and disturbances. Pratipaksha Bhavanam is the opposite tendencies. So what is to be done? It's very clear. In case of Badhane, that is disturbances, because of Vitarka, Pratipaksha Bhavanam is to be done. So the disturbances because of Vitarka can be countered by opposite tendencies. So cultivating opposite tendencies, opposite ideas, opposite actions, opposite thoughts against the disturbing evil tendencies. So Vitarka Badhane can be come out. We can come out of Vitarka Badhane by Pratipaksha Bhavana. A beautiful sutra. Many times we have a doubt that so many habits are there, tendencies are there, thoughts are there, and various emotions and ideas in the mind which will be interfere in our practice of yama and niyama. Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Parigraha, Shaucha, Santosha, Tapas, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana. In while practicing, lot of ideas, mind, disturbances in the mind, deviations in the mind, and so many thoughts, emotions which are not congenial for the practice of this yama and niyama, and so many habits. How to handle this? This rush and pouncing. Patanjali, the Maharshi, so nicely he suggests it to counter these disturbances which are not suitable for the practice. The ideas and the thoughts and the tendencies which are not congenial for the practice. All these Vitarka Badhanes, they can be overcome by cultivating Pratipaksha Bhavana, opposite ideas, opposite tendencies. So the root has to be attacked. In fact, this is the best way of character making, character building, a perfect personality chiseling, self-culturing method. There cannot be any another way out of it. If the mind is getting disturbed, getting filled up with all the dirt and drainage, and to build up the character, character making, building of a character, self-culturing, chiseling the personality, finishing man. And all this can be done only by correcting at the root, at the thought level, at the tendencies level, at the deep inner base of the thought level. And that is to be countered. All external actions, behaviors, talking, speaking, behavior, emotions, all our external expressions, all our external involvements, they have a root seeds inside the thought. Thought is the power, action is the expression. Thought is the seed, action is the tree. So to correct the actions, we have to go down to the root, the thought level. Correction has to be done there. So undesirable habits, undesirable tendencies, they can be changed only by a mental habit of exactly opposite kind. That is, a hatred by the love, dishonesty by the uprightness. It may look like an artificial in the beginning, but there is no other way. Because spontaneity is once upon a time, we have to say it's artificial. What is spontaneous, effortless, was once upon a time there is an effort. By the continuity of the effort, we become effortless. Swami Vivekananda writes beautifully for this particular sutra. This is the way to practice all these virtues that have been stated. By holding thoughts of an opposite character in the mind. When the idea of stealing comes, non-stealing should be thought of. When the idea of receiving gifts comes, replace it by a contrary thought. So vitarka badhane is to be countered by pratipaksha bhavanam. Anger, counter it by love and affection. Hatred and jealousy, counter it by love, affection. And what are these vitarkas? And that is listed in the 34th sutra. Very, very important sutra, which defines, lists what are the vitarkas. Vitarka himsadaya kritakarita anumodita lobha krodha moha purvaka mrudu madhyadhimatra dukkha jnanananta phala iti pratipaksha bhavanam. So what are the vitarkas and what are the pratipaksha bhavanams? That is listed in this 34th sutra. Vitarka himsadaya kritakarita anumodita lobha krodha moha purvaka mrudu madhyadhimatra dukkha ajnanananta phala iti pratipaksha bhavanam. A beautiful sutra, seems to be quite long, but they are actually various dimensions of expressing and describing what are the vitarkas and what are the pratipaksha bhavana. Vitarkas are himsadayaha, himsa adayaha, himsa and the others. That is, himsa, asatya, steya, himsadaya. Krita is done by oneself. Karita, God done by others. Anumodita, approved, sympathized. Lobha is greed. Krodha is anger. Moha is infatuation. And Purvaka is preceded by Mridu, mild. Madhya, medium. Adhimatra, extreme. Dukkha, misery. Ajnana, ignorance, not having right knowledge. Ananta, infinite. Phala is the end result. Iti, that is therefore. Prati, opposite. Paksha, side. Pratipaksha. Bhavanam, cultivation of tendencies. So this is the long sutra, but words are very clear. Vitaraka himsadaya kritakarita anumodita lobha krodha moha purvaka mridumadhyadi matra dukkha ajnanananta phala iti pratipaksha bhavanam. Pitarkas, himsa and other things. Krita, done by oneself. Karita, got it done by others. Anumodita, you have approved it, sympathized it. Lobha is the greed, krodha is the anger, moha is the infatuation. Purvaka, preceded by mrudu, mild, madhya is the medium, and adhimatra, the extreme, dukkha, misery, ajnana, ignorance. And then ananta, infinite, endless, phala is the result. And therefore, iti pratipaksha, opposite side, bhavanam is to be done. So the vitarakas are the causing of injury to others and other things. And if these vitarakas are done by oneself, or got it done by others, or permitted to be done others, and they are followed by greed, anger, etc. That means, if himsa is done by me, done by us, or not done by us, but we become a karana for the himsa to be done. We inspire others to do it. We become cause for others to do it. We are not directly involved in that, but we are responsible for that. That is karana. Anumodita is we are not responsible and we have not done it. But when himsa has been done, we sympathized for the himsa. We approve it. See how how subtle it is? Approving a himsa. And this may be out of greed. This may be out of anger. And this may be out of infatuation. And it may be very mild, a little bit. It may be a little grave. Or it may be very extreme. And all these gradations. What it will come? The end result is what? The end result, ananta phala, is dukkha and ajnana. And what is the solution? Pratipaksha bhavanam. So, dukkha and ajnana, misery and ignorance, are the inevitable results. Because of not following yamaniyamas and all these undesirable tendencies in our character. And the end result, ananta phalam, the ananta is the end. Result is misery, dukkha, bondage. That identification of drashta, drishya and all those points. And practice of yamaniyamas, that's why, are interrelated. They are interdependent and they are interconnected. It is not that each practice is separate, a watertight compartments. All the 10 yamaniyamas, 5 yamas and 5 niyamas, pancha upangas of the yama and the pancha upangas of the niyama. They are very deeply connected, related and dependent. And extreme practice should not hamper the idea of the other practice, because the underlying principle of oneness, the unity, the life principle, that is to be guarded, that is to be upheld. And that is why all these vitarakas, whether we are responsible or whether we become a cause for it, we may not utter an untruth, but we become responsible for somebody to say a lie. And if somebody says a lie, you sympathize for it. And it can be out of greed, my own greed, our own anger, our own infatuation. And it can be in gradations. Very mild, very little. Madhyama, little grave. And intensely, which we have seen earlier sutras. Murdu Madhyama, Udaranam, like that. And let us remember, and the end result is always dukkha and ajnana. Swami Vivekananda wonderfully concludes his commentary on this particular sutra. It's worth to read and to know. He says, if I tell a lie or cause another to tell a lie or approve of another doing so, it is equally sinful. If it is very mild lie, it is still a lie. Every vicious thought will rebound. Every thought of hatred which you have thought in a cave even is stored up and will one day come back to you with tremendous power in the form of some misery here. If you project all sorts of hatred and jealousy, they will rebound on you with compound interest. No power can avert them. When once you have put them in motion, you will have to bear them. Remembering this will prevent you from doing wicked things. And that is Pratipaksha Bhavana. Let us fashion our life, chisel our character, build our self-culture in the line of Yamaniyamas, so that we will be happy, not dukkha, and we will be jnanis, not ajnana. And this is how the 34 and 35 sutras beautifully explains the importance of Yamaniyamas. Let us see the other sutras. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.